Hello, my name is Dom. I'm terribly sorry that I couldn't record this on a much lighter note, but if you've been paying attention to the media, you will know that yesterday there was a beheading in Moore of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is my state, and the location is very close to my home. So it hits very close to home. The first thing that I'd like to say is I'd like to give my condolences and my prayers to the families of the victims, to the one victim who survived, and to the witnesses who will never be able to forget this horrible tragedy. I had a friend who asked me, because they knew that it was very close to my home, they asked me if I might consider moving. And it had never crossed my mind because this isn't just in Oklahoma City. It's not just in the Middle East or any of these cities or countries that you hear it happening. This is in every mosque across the globe because it is in every Quran. And now, as you know or may have assumed or guessed, the assailant, the murderer, was an Islamist, a Muslim, and absolutely using this as an act of jihad. I'm not certain if he was one of the lone wolf jihadists that many groups like ISIS are calling for, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the context. And I want to give some statistics starting off very quickly. There are 2.18 billion Christians on Earth. That's a third of the world's population, and this was taken in 2010, so it's probably significantly more than that now. Also, there are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. It's the second largest religion, if you want to even call it that, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now, the reason why I'm giving you these statistics is I often get comments and messages, accusations of why would I denounce all of Islam, why would I go after Islam, when my own Bible is full of scriptures that condone, endorse, command, or maybe even are misinterpreted to condone violence. Isn't it hypocritical because the Quran is the same? And I'm not an emotional person. I don't like to rely on feelings. I don't like to speak from feelings, really. I'm very logical. I like to reason everything out before I say it. And so I want us to think for a moment. Those statistics that I gave you. It's believed that there are 15 to 25%, somewhere in there, of Muslims in the world, of that 1.5 billion, are condoning, supporting, and engaging in violent jihad, slaughter, beheadings, crucifixions, rape, abuse. Now, that's a really large minority, and obviously those 300 million or so have absolutely affected every inch of the earth. I mean, obviously I did not see it coming to Oklahoma so soon. But let's just say, for the sake of that argument, that the Bible is violent, commands violence, and it's being misinterpreted that we're misinterpreting it to mean peace, or even vice versa. Why then are there not 600 million Christians all across the globe that are engaging in this violence? Why then is it only Islam? So we'll just let that sink in for a moment. Now let's say, for the sake of that argument as well, that it really is being misinterpreted, misconstrued, misunderstood, or even twisted. The Quran is being twisted to promote violence when it absolutely does not have any violence in it. Let's just say that. If that is the case, and it's causing, its misinterpretation is causing the slaughter of so many millions of people, and has for well over 1,000 years, why are we letting it run rampant? Why is it even allowed to immigrate into the States, into any country? I mean, much less, in the least, why isn't it at least being surveyed? Why isn't it at least being under watch? That seems, I don't know, it seems like common sense to me, but I guess not. If it is causing that much chaos and devastation and slaughter, why aren't we doing away with it? And I know a lot of you want to say, well, hey, Dom, I agree with you, like, I don't like Islam, and I think it means hate or something, and we see the effects of it, we see the violent jihad going on, but, if the states start doing away with their freedoms, their right to their beliefs or religion or whatever you call it, what's going to stop them from coming after us next, after any religion or even lack thereof, and telling us what to believe or what we cannot believe? But I think that this extends past, it's gone beyond belief. You can believe whatever you want. That's what I love about the United States. You can be racist if you want. You can hate if you want. You can think that the earth is flat if you want to. And that's a belief. When your beliefs turn into an action that is violent, and it stems from your beliefs, whether you're misinterpreting it or not, I don't believe you should be able to have those rights anymore. When your rights infringe upon another's right, especially the right to life, I don't believe that you should have that right anymore. We would first have to identify that it is not a religion in order to do that. That it is, in fact, just a belief or a culture, and is absolutely against the right to the pursuit of happiness or life. I have compiled a small list of, it's an Islamophobia watch list, much like the ones that CARE releases every year. Someday maybe I'll be on one of those lists. I can only hope. It would be an honor. But who knows? Maybe if you share this enough, maybe I'll get out there. Maybe they'll find me. No, I wouldn't wish that. I do not need any more stress, but I'm up for it if it happens. Let's just say that. It will not silence me. First on my list, my Islamophobia watch list, and this might come as a shocker, but I think that you'll understand where I'm going with this. First on my list is CARE. And I say, CARE? What? They created Islamophobia. What do you mean? They can't be Islamophobic. They are Islam. Well, they're absolutely terrified of their own religion. They're terrified of the misinterpretation of it. They are terrified to call out those who seem to be misinterpreting it. They're terrified to denounce these extremists. They're much more concerned with the privileges of the followers that they already have. They're much more concerned with picketing and protesting and demanding apologies for insults or insensitivities. And so in that light, I say that CARE is Islamophobic. Now they have the power and they have the funding, they have the voice, and they have the opportunity to be at the forefront of this movement against Islamic extremism, yet they seem to only want to go after those who are peaceful, yet speaking out against these extreme acts of violence. Second on my list is Obama and all of our elected officials who are sympathizing with and not speaking out against Islam. You cannot simply be silent and be against something that is evil that is going on. That is, in fact, an indirect way of supporting it or condoning it. We have too many who are silent about it. They're afraid. We have too many who are outspoken about it in support of it, and it gets us nowhere. It absolutely gets us nowhere to be focusing on the moderate Muslims, which there are many of you, peaceful moderate Muslims, absolutely. Why would we be focusing on you then? We need to all be coming together to denounce these violent acts of jihad, do we not? Isn't that a start? Third on my list are the moderate Muslims, you, the peaceful Muslims out there. You're Islamophobic because you are absolutely terrified of speaking out against the misinterpretation of your counterparts of Islam. You're absolutely terrified of speaking out at all. You're so silent. I don't hear any of you. You should be at the forefront of this movement. Somebody is taking your beliefs and turning them into violence. Would you not? I would be angry if somebody was doing that about mine. Fourth on my list are the Imams, the clerics, the preachers, the scholars, the theologians of Islam. Now, this is a very vital part of Islam. This is a very interesting part too, because they have the power and the authority to redefine, change Islam. They have so many followers. Muslims look up to them. They are pretty much the voice, the interpretation of Islam. This is why so many people are misinterpreting, or whatever you would like to say, the Quranic scriptures. But it's interesting because in the Quran it states in chapter 2, verse 106, we do not abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, except that we bring forth one better or similar to it. I mean, that literally says that you have the authority to change Islam, to even do away with violent verses and replace them with better ones. And what better way to start than replacing them with peaceful ones? We'll see if that makes a difference. Last on my list is us, too many of us, the silent majority. You are Islamophobic. You are not speaking out against Islam because you are afraid of Islam. You are afraid of backlash. You are afraid of being called a bigot. You are afraid of being called hateful, racist, whatever it is. Or maybe you're silent because you're uneducated about it. You don't think that there's anything wrong with Islam. Maybe you don't know what's going on. You're too busy paying attention to reality TV or the latest football game. Whatever it is, even death threats, there's no good reason to be silent. We have wonderful brothers and sisters overseas who are in the middle of it, right in the hub of violent Islam. And yet they fear for their lives. They are major targets. They live in fear every single day, and still they speak out against Islam because they know the truth. Will we wake up before this is too late? I don't know. So I will let that sink in. Now, I can't fight this alone, and I can't fight it with a sword. I have to fight this with a pen and a voice. That's what I'm best at. And I will not stop. Regardless of what happens, I will not stop. So my question is, what will you do